Hello, it's Professor Thomas here with a quick video webinar on how to apply for extended time on the ACT exam. Let's do a quick overview of the video and what we'll be going over in the video here. There are 4 components, what we'll talk about, how to apply, and we'll talk specifically. I'll show you some examples, and we'll go to other websites as well. But before we get started with that, what I would like to do is define what extended time actually means. For argumentative purposes, we are going to just label this extended time type A and extended time type B. Extended time type A is time and a half, and extended time type B is going to be double time. Okay, so who is going to apply for what? Students with ADD, ADHD, students with light learning disabilities, slow processing and so forth, reading and writing, mathematics would apply for time and a half, and students with more severe issues, handicapped students and so forth, would apply for double time. So quick overview with that. Let's get started with number one. First thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and have our student tested. Okay, some suggestions for testing: Groves Academy, or simply do a Google search for psychologists who test for learning issues, or even talk to friends of the family. If you know people that have got similar things going on here, you could always get a referral. All right, so before we actually do that, I'm going to give you some information here. There is a center in Bloomington, Minnesota called Pacer. Pacer is on Highway 100 between 62 and 494. And Pacer is a free service. You can call Pacer and set up an appointment. You can look at their website. You can do consultation over the phone. Give them a call. I'm going to write the website down here so you get a chance to have this as a resource. It is www.pacer.org. Pacer.org. Okay, and here is something they have on their website right now. It's Minnesota parents who are helping their kid apply for an individual educational program, or IEP plan, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the video, but we will end up doing this. So this kind of walks you through everything what you can expect. So that's Pacer. Groves Academy. Groves Academy is on Highway 100 in St. Louis Park. As you're going southbound on Highway 100 towards 494, it will be on your right-hand side. Groves Academy is probably the best in Minnesota. However, it is quite expensive. Some good things about Groves: anyone that I know that has ever gone through the plan diagnostic program there at Groves Academy has gotten extended time for ACT. Now, Groves Academy will walk you through the whole procedure. They'll do all the testing. They'll call. They'll send in the application. They do everything for you. So if you're a busy family and you don't want to play around with making calls to ACT and filling out applications, Groves Academy might be the way to go. The other option would be to simply Google psychologists who test for learning issues. If your student is trying to figure out if we've got ADD, ADHD, that is a whole nother ball game. And basically what you would do is you would just do a Google search for psychologists or physicians, that test for ADD, ADHD, and you'd go through the protocol from them. Okay? Bottom line comes down to this: we are going to have our kid tested. All right. Number 2, after testing, if the doctor or psychologist finds evidence that there is something going on here, then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get a written letter from the doctor. Okay, so that letter has to specifically say, I, as a physician, recommend extended time for Billy on the ACT. Okay, and we want to be as specific as possible. So any amount of 1.5 times the allotted national average. Okay, so have them write specifically. One other quick comment here is ACT is very stingy in what they give. So what I found out, a trick, kind of a way around this, is instead of asking for just, hey, we need extended time, ask for a bunch of stuff, and chances are you're not going to get everything, but you're going to have more. And if we use it or not doesn't matter. We just get it. So for example, if I ask for 2 things, ACT probably is only going to give me 1. But if I ask for 6 things, all right, Billy needs extended breaks, we want to have it tested on Saturday, private room, private proctor, well, maybe they're going to grant 3 of those. So in the letter from the doctor, list off as many things as you think your kid is going to need. First of all, it's going to say extended time in the amount of, private room, Saturday testing, extended breaks, comfortable chair, ability to eat the snacks, so forth. Write down what you think and have the doctor write that out. When you talk to your psychologist, they can help you. Pacer can help you with that. I can also help you with this as well. All right, on to number 2. With the letter from the doctor, we're going to contact the school guidance counselor, and you quickly put a call into the guidance office and say, we'd like to set up a meeting because Billy wants to set up an IEP plan or a 504 plan. I'm not going to go into the difference between this. This is a federal mandate, 504, Students with Disabilities Act, and an IEP plan is local, it's state level, but it's basically doing the same thing. It's allowing students access to education, and according to their needs. So with that letter and any other previous documentation that you may have from before, you want to bring that in and set up this meeting with the school. Now this is a federal thing going on here, so they take this very serious. You're going to go in there with a couple people and they're going to have a meeting. It's very, very dry and very serious, so set this up, okay? All right. Then we're moving on to the next thing here. Once you have that meeting, try and get the guidance counselor to write a letter to ACT, all right? And in that letter from the guidance counselor, once again, just like we did with the doctor, we want to be specific. We want to mention school grades. So if Susie failed a class or got a D in a class, you want to put that in there, okay? Anytime a student attends a public schools, in order to pass from grade level to grade level, you're going to have to take what's called an MCA exam. If there's any low scores in the MCA exams, any failing of MCA exams, any difference between math, reading, or science, this all wants to be put in a letter from the guidance counselor documenting that there's something going on here. More evidence, the better. Okay. Some schools are more helpful than other schools, so make sure that you understand the lay of the land. Just off the top of my head, private schools are smaller, and private schools usually have a person that's in charge of special testing and accommodations. Public school, right now you're having about 300 students per guidance counselor. And usually of the guidance counselors in the school, one of those guidance counselors will have extra work to do by being in charge of the testing. So they are overbooked and overworked, so don't expect them to do more for you, and you're going to have to kind of self-advocate if you're a parent that has a kid in a public school. Some reports from parents coming out of public schools that some of these guidance counselors are really not very helpful at all. Private schools, as I mentioned before, they have somebody that is paid to do this, and depends on the private school, but some are better than others, but usually it seems to be a little easier. So make sure that you contact and talk to the guidance counselor. Ask questions. All right, on to number 3. Number 3, we are going to fill out the application for extended time for the student on act.org. Here is the direct link. If you want to copy this and put this up in your browser, you can go ahead and do this. act.org content. And let me show you what this looks like and how we're going to get there. So first of all, if you come up over here, you see that I'm using the Yahoo browser, and just type in application for extended time on the ACT. And when you get that, we're going to get application for extended time on the ACT, and we're going to go directly into that. Okay. And once we're into this website for ACT, I got it pulled up here, we would come up and it would look something like this: services for students, and then we just simply scroll down and find where it says policy for documentation. Click on this and it comes up with a PDF file, and this will walk you through the steps that we need to do. Policy for documentation. So be sure to print this out and follow the steps. As I mentioned before, if your son or daughter attends a public school, you're going to have to self-advocate by filling all this documentation out for you. If you're a private school kid, the guidance counselor is going to help you with this. If you go to Groves Academy, they're going to help you do all this. So that's some background information on that. All right. And finally, number 4, worst case scenario, if ACT rejects your application for your son or daughter for extended time, what we need to do is we need to get more supporting documents. All right. So sometimes the doctor will rewrite the letter and make it stronger. Classical case of a application getting rejected from ACT is in the letter from the doctor does not specifically say ACT. It just says, I recommend extended time on tests. So be specific. So make sure that we don't have to reapply and talk to the doctor again. Just talk to them beforehand. All right. Letters from teachers, letters from tutors, letters from any educational programs, anything you can show that is going to show a history and supporting documentation, but reapply. Right now, lay of the land, everybody and anybody is applying for extended time on ACT. They are absolutely overwhelmed with applications. So if there is anything missing, they are going to reject you, assuming that if it is really serious, that a parent is going to reapply and fill in all the extra things that were missed. So try and get your application in as complete as possible with anything that you see that I'm talking about here. Is be specific and support. That's the main thing here. So there you have it. It's a quick overview for how to apply for extended time on ACT. If you have any questions about any of this material that we talked about in the video, please feel free to contact Professor Thomas. You can always contact me via phone. My phone number is on the website, and we can take it from there. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.